Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and I thought I would do a different type of video today. I'm going to do a discussion video on these new Scream Factory announcements for the month of May. And I know I usually go into this stuff on the physical media report, but this past week they announced them Sunday night and they weren't fully fleshed out as far as the announcements until after I did the physical media report. So we're going to go through all these May announcements. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the contents of each one of these releases. And then I'm going to go into just my thoughts on all these 4K re-releases that Scream Factory is doing, whether I think it's a good or a bad thing. I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons, but also, guys, I want your feedback as well. I want your opinion on this because I feel like there's been a lot of division in the Blu-ray collecting community over this. I've been seeing it just in the Blu-ray.com forums, just on Instagram and comment sections of my own videos. And it just seems like there's people that don't want to rebuy all these Scream Factory releases, and there's people that are completely up for it and down for it. So I want to talk about that, and I've got a few points to go through. So again, just a casual video, discussion video, but I really want your guys' feedback. So definitely leave your thoughts on this whole Scream Factory 4K upgrade situation in that comment section below. And before we go any further, guys, I have to ask, is this your first time discovering me here on YouTube? Hit the subscribe button. Like I said, I do all kinds of physical media content. I do a physical media report where I run down all the late breaking news. So definitely check that out. I also do reviews. I do Blu-ray hunting videos. I do live streams with other collectors. We did the February release roundtable roundup this past Wednesday night. It was a great stream with other collectors where we got into this very topic that I'm going to discuss as well. So yeah, I thought, you know, I've been talking about this pretty much all week, but I just wanted to get all my thoughts together and just discuss it in one concise video for you guys, and really just get your guys' feedback is what I'm the most interested in. Let's get into the big announcements for this week, guys. There were 4 4K announcements this week for Scream Factory. Other than October of last year when they did all the Halloween 4Ks, which those were kind of, you know, a package deal. Those are all together. You could buy them separately, but they were announced together and put out together. I can't think of another month where Scream Factory has released this many 4K. So just going through the announcements, I'll go through them one by one. We'll talk about some of the new special features and upgrades to each one of these, because some of these actually have new special features, which I was just now discovering and doing my research for this video. But Candyman, the 30th anniversary 4K Blu-ray, was announced to come to 4K, not only from Shout Factory Scream Factory, but there's also an Arrow Video version as well, which, you know, I went into on the physical media report, but I'm not going to go into it with this video. But yeah, new 4K restoration of the theatrical cut of the film, and this is supervised and approved by writer-director Bernard Rose and director of photography Anthony B. Richmond by Arrow Video. So yeah, they are using, it seems like they are using help from Arrow Video to do this transfer as well. I didn't know that until I just read it, but it feels like they're collaborating. But yeah, you want the writer and the director, or the director rather, you know, working on your 4K transfer. That's usually always a good thing, unless it's James Cameron. So yeah, I'm happy that Bernard Rose is working on this, and I'm sure this movie like is just so visually stunning. I'm sure it's going to look fantastic in 4K. And I just recently watched the Scream Factory edition right before Candyman 2021 came out, and it looks really good, but I can see where they can improve on a lot of things. Just as far as the Dolby Vision and just the HDR upgrade. I can see where a lot of these colors, which feel a little muted in the Blu-ray, are really going to pop and really shine in that 4K HDR format. So yeah, it's got a new Dolby Atmos track as well. So it's going to look fantastic. I can just see it now. So I'm really excited to get this one, even though, and we'll talk about it again here in a second, it feels like they just did the Blu-ray release for this one. I think it was at the end of 2018. So about a little bit over 3 years that they did the Blu-ray release. But one thing, guys, that I was excited to see, because you don't usually see this with these 4K re-releases, not even on the big studio titles, but there is a new interview with actress Vanessa Williams in this movie. So that's actually pretty cool. This is a 3-disc set as well. So disc 2 is the Blu-ray, which is the theatrical cut as well. New 4K restoration just on a Blu-ray disc, and you get the Dolby Atmos track on that Blu-ray disc as well, so that's pretty cool. And you also get the unrated cut. You also get the unrated cut with a new 4K master with HD inserts for the uncut footage from the archival print by Arrow Video. So yeah, you're not going to get the 4K master on that uncut footage, so you'll probably see a dip in quality while you're watching it, but that's usually you know, how they choose to do it. Getting into the next announcement, guys, is The Craft. So The Craft, I believe, also came out. I think that was released by Scream Factory in 2018. So that's a more recent release as well. But The Craft, going back into Candyman, I forgot to say the release date for that one, but that one is going to be coming out on May the 24th, and The Craft is going to be coming out on May the 17th. So with The Craft, again, this one just came out from Scream Factory Shout Factory back in 2018. I believe this is the same year that Candyman came out. So you're going to be getting a brand new 4K restoration of the film from the original camera negative by Sony Pictures. So that is the only thing new that you're getting with this. You are not getting a Dolby Atmos track with The Craft. You are just getting the new 4K restoration. Yeah, all the same special features are present for this one. So it doesn't feel like they really went that extra mile with this one that they did with the Candyman release. But still, I don't own The Craft. I never bought the Scream Factory edition, so I'll be happy to buy this one on 4K when it comes out. The next one, and this one I feel like was maybe the most controversial because it does feel like a very odd choice to put out, but Life Force, which is a space vampire film directed by Tobe Hooper, same guy did Texas Chainsaw, Poltergeist, so many classics. But I've seen this movie. It's a very odd movie, but this one came out in 1985, Tobe Hooper film, and I don't know when the original Scream Factory was released. I imagine it was one of the first ones, probably like 2013, 2014. But this is a brand new 4K restoration. Again, this is a 3-disc set on this one. So a brand new 4K restoration of the theatrical cut of the film from the original negative. And, you know, you also get that on the Blu-ray. You get all the special features that were present before. And you also get a new 4K restoration of the director's cut of the film from the Interpositive. So you also get the director's cut, the theatrical cut, and new 4K restorations for all 3 of these discs. 2 of those are Blu-ray, and 1 of them is a actual 4K disc. Yeah, Life Force, I don't own either. Like I said, I've seen the movie. I can see, though, honestly, it does feel like an odd choice, but I can see why they might want to do this one in 4K, because I think visually this is going to be a stunning 4K transfer. So I will buy it based on that, because I think it's going to look really good from what I remember of the movie. And, you know, the fact that it takes place in space and it has that space setting and, you know, sci-fi setting and stuff. So a lot of cool, like, set design. And I'm sure there's, you know, going to be a lot of room for color upgrades and increases with that HDR. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. I'm going to pick up Life Force, I think, even though I don't remember being a huge fan of the movie. And I know a lot of people were commenting about the topless young lady that was in the film and seeing that in 4K. So if that gets you excited, if that gets your juices flowing, so to speak, you know, I imagine you might be pretty excited for Life Force. But yeah, Life Force is supposed to be coming out on May the 24th. And we also got Escape from New York. This is the big one, because with this one, they're doing the full treatment. They are doing the vinyls. They're doing the pins. They're doing all the stuff. I hope that this one, I don't know for sure, because you can never really tell until it's about time for it to release. I hope they do a big, I hope they do the hard box case. Honestly, I wish they would do the hard box case for all the, you know, new Scream Factory 4Ks. I think that would add to the attraction and the appeal of picking those up. But, you know, they only done them on the Halloween ones, and I think Elvira just randomly did it for Elvira, even though that wasn't a 4K release. But I think that this might be one of those hard cases, because this is the full treatment. They're going the extra mile because, of course, this is a John Carpenter film. You know, Scream Factory's always had a special bond and relationship with director John Carpenter, an obsession with John Carpenter, as you will. They do all of his stuff in Scream Factory editions, 4Ks, Steelbooks, all that stuff. So they love John Carpenter over at Scream Factory. So it's no surprise they would do a very special edition from Escape from New York. With this one, guys, I'm definitely going to get it, because, again, I just have a DVD of Escape from New York. I have not upgraded that to Blu-ray. I don't have the Scream Factory, so I'm excited to get this one for sure. But I'm not going to go with the vinyls and all that stuff. I'm just going to stick to the regular 4K, and hopefully it has a hard box case. Well, let's get into the contents. This is another 3-disc set. So of all the ones they announced for May, they're all 3-disc sets except for The Craft. So you do get a new 4K restoration completed on behalf of Studio Canal. So they are using that Studio Canal restoration for this release, which they also did with The Howling that just came out. And yeah, you're also getting a Blu-ray. And on disc 3, It is not like a different cut of the film or anything, but it's just a bunch of additional special features. So I'm not sure why they had to. Maybe there's just a lot of special features for this release. You guys can let me know in the comment section below if there is. But I'm not sure why they wouldn't just put those on the Blu-ray disc instead of just putting them on their own disc. So kind of strange. So let's get into some of these more controversial, not really controversial, but just more divisive topics. The big thing, guys, is just rebuying the same movie in 4K. I think a lot of people feel like, they've been collecting Scream Factory from the beginning. It just feels like you've accomplished something. There's a lot of people that collect for Scream Factory are completionists. They want to collect for everything. There's people that are out there trying to get all the slipcovers and get all the additions and just get everything in order. So when it feels like you've completed something and then they start back at square one again, it kind of makes you feel like everything you did was for nothing. But isn't that kind of the game we're in right now with physical media just in general? Just all these re-releases from Blu-ray to 4K. Why is it any different with Scream Factory than it is with just a regular studio release? Like Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile just got upgraded to 4K. I bought both of those Blu-rays recently, right before they upgraded. And then I bought them again on 4K. So how is this different? Why does this seem to ruffle feathers just a little bit more than your regular, studio 4K release? And what I attribute it to is why I think that people are a little bit more upset by this than the regular studio releases is because you already paid a premium for these Blu-ray releases. In some cases, just 3 years ago, like we just discussed with Candyman, these Blu-rays that they release from Scream Factory, Shout Factory are not cheap when they come out. They are usually $27, $28, $30, in some cases even more than that, $35. Some of them when they first come out, especially if you're getting like posters and exclusives and stuff like that, ordering directly from Scream Factory themselves, paying the shipping cost to not get those damaged slipcovers. So you are already paying a premium for these, whereas with Blu-ray, it was expensive when it was first released, but you can get a lot of those Blu-rays now for like $4 or $5. Like a lot of the Blu-rays that I bought that I upgraded to 4K, I only paid like $5 to maybe $10 for, because I bought them way down the line when they had already been released for a few years. So I don't feel like I wasted that much of my money with repurchasing those. Now with Scream Factory, like you can't even, a lot of those Blu-rays, like unless it's a Scream Factory sale, they are still, most of them are still $15 to $20. You cannot get them for any cheaper than that. Now I imagine those are gonna go down in price drastically on their website once those 4Ks come out. Like I think They Live is on the website usually for about $11.99. But yeah, you cannot buy them right now for any cheaper than $15 to $20, whereas you can buy a lot of those studio releases for $5 to $10. So I think that's the big issue, is just the cost of these when they initially come out is in some cases even more than a regular studio 4K. So you are paying more for these premium editions. And yeah, like I said, just the sense of accomplishment when you have the complete collection and now you have to, rebuy them all again. I think that's where some of the anger is coming from. Well, not really anger, but just, the resentment or just the I'm not buying this again kind of mentality. Again, like with me personally, I'm excited for it because I have not been collecting Scream Factory since the very beginning. So a lot of these, like I said, these re-releases, I'll be buying them for the first time. And I'll get that sense of, completion because I'm buying this movie and I'll have the slipcover and I'll have the posters and I had that opportunity. It's almost like a second chance for those of us that haven't been collecting Scream Factory since the beginning. And getting into my next point, and this is kind of a negative for me, and that is the fact that this could lead to a lack of original, fresh ideas from Scream Factory, Shout Factories. That is what I'm probably the most afraid of with this. And the reason for that is up until now, we've been getting a good mix of different stuff. Like we have Alligator that came out in 4K this past month. We had The Howling, which was a re-release from Scream Factory, but we had that mix. We had a fresh new 4K from Scream Factory, and then we had an older re-release 4K of The Howling. So I like the fact that they had that mix. So as long as they can keep it balanced going forward, maybe one new, one old, maybe two new, two old, or even one new and three old. I just want something new every single month because May, so far guys, they're all re-releases. So I can see where people that have already been collecting for Scream Factory, they're like, I want some new movies. There's more stuff to do out there, stuff that hasn't gotten the 4K or even the Blu-ray treatment. Why don't you guys tackle some of that stuff? So that's one of my fears, is the fact that it could lead to a lack of new, fresh and original ideas from Scream Factory, because up until now they've been doing a solid mix of both month to month. So getting into more of what I would consider to be positives. Again, I just talked about this, but it's good for those who were late to the party on collecting Screams, because now you have that second chance to collect those slipcovers, to feel like you're accomplishing something. Because a lot of people, guys, and I'll tell you right now, have been paying top dollar for these slipcovers that were released years ago. They've been paying upwards of $50, $60, $70, in some cases maybe $100 for these older slipcovers on eBay. And I can tell you right now, stop it. Don't do that anymore, because it looks like Scream Factory is trending in the direction of re-releasing all their films on 4K. So stop it. Do not pay top dollar to rebuy these slipcovers anymore. So yeah, so it's bad for those that have paid top dollar to complete this collection. But you know, it's good for those of us that are late to the party on this Scream Factory. And again, I completely understand if you've been doing it since the beginning and you feel like you're being a little bit betrayed by Scream Factory. But again, guys, at the end of the day, these are new 4K transfers, and it's no different really than, you know, a studio releasing their stuff on 4K. Error Video's doing it as well, and I don't feel like I hear nearly the pushback on that as I've heard on Scream Factory. And the last point that I want to discuss and bring up is one thing that's interesting is they're not using that old Scream Factory artwork for their new 4K re-releases. Now, it's just the re-releases. On something like Alligator, they're doing new Scream Factory artwork, they're doing reversible cover art and all that stuff. But stuff like They Live that came out, which was a re-release, they did not use that original Scream Factory artwork, which I like the old poster artwork much better than that Scream Factory artwork that came out. So I was cool with that. But also, like right here, guys, there's no reversible cover art. It's completely blank. And I think this is the only re-release that I own, but I imagine it's exactly the same for all the other 4K re-releases from Scream Factory, with the exception of Halloween 2 and 3, because those were previous releases, and those do have new Scream Factory artwork and reversible cover art. So I think that's the only case of that happening. But with Krampus, that had new Scream Factory artwork. That was a new 4K and reversible cover art. But for some reason with the new 4Ks, and you see it on all the ones that were announced for May, it is that old poster artwork. And I've seen some people kind of take a little pause on that, say, that's a little weird. But I haven't heard too much negativity on that. Honestly, I like it because I think it makes it feel just a little bit prestigious, a little bit more like a studio release 4K. One thing that I will say is I wish that they would do the old Scream Factory artwork as reversible cover art for these ones. I think that would be really cool. But again, another thing that this, you could say is a positive is that it kind of gives the collector in you a little bit of a sense of satisfaction, a little bit of a reason to still own the Scream Factory versions, Scream Factory Blu-rays that you bought in the past of the same film, because it has that different artwork, it has that variation. So it might compel you to not sell it because it has that artwork and you do have the slipcover for it with that particular artwork. And it might still be worth money. It might still be a collector's item. So maybe that's why they're doing it, to make you collectors that collected the Blu-rays in the past feel like you still have that sense of accomplishment because you have that different variation with the classic Scream Factory artwork. So I don't know. Just some thoughts, guys. Again, I know I was rambling through a lot of this stuff, but I just wanted to get my thoughts on this whole situation. At the end of the day, I think overall it's a positive. I think it's a positive, but as long as they do a balance to it, because I don't want Scream Factory to just start re-releasing all their 4Ks and have no new, fresh, original ideas going forward, because I think part of the announcements every single month, I get the most excited about the new movies, the stuff like the Alligators, the Krampuses, the new stuff that they've never done before is the stuff that I get the most excited about. And I think that they will still do the new stuff, but the older re-releases, it's like, okay, you're re-releasing it in 4K. I'll buy it and we'll move on. It's not something I necessarily get the most excitement for. I hope that they do a balance going forward, but overall, I think it's a good thing. Scream Factory's been doing a hell of a job on their 4Ks, so I think that they definitely have a solid restoration process in place, and they do some great work over there as far as their restoration. So with that, guys, I've been rambling long enough. I appreciate you guys watching. Please, in the comment section below. This is the reason why I did this entire video. Let me know what you think of it. Bring up any points that I missed, because I'm sure that there are several other things that I didn't even think about. So leave your points in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Are you going to be rebuying these movies in 4K? Have you already bought them in Blu-ray? Are you going to be upgraded? Have you not bought them in Blu-ray yet and you're happy that they're getting released in 4K? Let me know all that stuff in the comment section below. Or are you just going to say, screw you, Scream Factory, I bought your movies before and I'm not buying them again? Are you going to be that person? Let me know in the comment section below. So with that, guys, we are done with this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on those bells, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are in the description, and we'll see you next time.